if you would, lead us in prayer.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you blessed us with. Father, we thank you for this time when the leaders of the county come together to discuss county business and take public input on those decisions. Thank you for the time that they give and sacrifice that they make with their families and other things in order to serve in this capacity. Just pray that you'll lead them and guide them in the directions that they make. Pray that you'll be with us in this meeting. Everything that's said and done will be in a business-like manner. Father, just ask that you be with us then through the remainder of this evening and give us safe journeys back home. Watch over us, keep us, and Father, forgive us of our many sins, which in Christ's name we do pray.
Amen. Mr. Shoemaker, if you would lead us in prayer.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Departmental reports. Do you have any questions or concerns with departmental reports? If not, moving on to constitutional officers, do we have anyone here to speak on that or questions? Treasurer's report was added to the packet. Next, public expression. Do we have any public expression tonight?
Yes, sir, do.
If so, we've got 3 minutes, and please state your name and location for the minutes.
I'm Ben Richmond, I'm from Jonesville. I'm here again over the school board. Transparency is something we said at every meeting, we're not getting any of it. They had a budget meeting the other day, didn't tell anybody. And just some people just had to get there. They started it late, and some people just had to be in on it. We need to get the budget 2 months ahead of time, an itemized budget 2 months ahead of time, so we can all look at it and then discuss it with you all at the meeting before you vote on it. As far as the money expenditures, we looked up what Scott County, Wise County, Lee County paid per student. Scott County pays $14,041 per student, Wise County $14,371 per student, and Lee County $16,581. That's $2,540 at Scott County. That totals for $6,858,000. In Wise County, it's $2,210, and if you multiply it by the 2,700 students we got, it's $5,967,000. That's how much over budgeting they're doing. What we need in this county is a clean, lean, well-oiled machine to operate the school board. We don't need a fat, gluttonous, obese, overspending budget. Next thing I'm going to is the data center. We can't hardly get any answers or anything on this, and I brought it up last month. Are y'all going to vote about putting it on the ballot for the next election? Are y'all going to vote on that tonight? Okay, that's fine.
Anybody else here for public expression?
Good evening, fellas. I'm Robert Baumgartner from Jungle. What I like, most people in this county would like transparency for one thing, everybody, and accountability. You find something wrong, you make the person doing it face immediately. Affordability, just like Mr. Richmond was talking about how much more it costs to educate a student here in Lee County. In one of Mr. Richmond's famous first words at the first meeting with Karen was cut, cut, cut. I haven't heard anybody say anything about cutting anything. It's always how much more money we can get in our budget, or how much we expect to get. Now, it's inevitable, people. Population, schools are going down, their population is going down. We can't continue down this road. Now somewhere going to cut. it's up to you guys to be responsible for the taxpayers' money. And I don't care where the taxpayers' money comes from, you're accountable for it. And I believe, like I said, address the need for the money before you hand it to them. That's my opinion. We need good quality teachers and a good, safe workplace for students. That's all I got.
Donnie Glenn partner. I talked to Jason Jenkins several times. I talked to the sergeant in charge of the Lebanon office. And after I got off the phone with him, I called the Attorney General's office and the Governor's office. The day before I came down here, the Attorney General's office called me again. And the issue that we talked about was wasting the money here in Lee County, and how it was wasted. And I'm supposed to contact them again and call them again for that. But it seems to be nobody's coming up with a budget, and it's how much more money can we get, and we can't continue on like that. And the taxpayers deserve better, and you can't give the school board a blank check. You know they can't manage the money, they're horrible managing the money. They won't argue about who's going to pay for it, the audit, and the forensic audit should be published in the paper for all to see, not pick up down in the courthouse here. Don't play the game, let's hide the ball, not pick up a copy at the courthouse. We need transparency, and we need for the money to be managed properly, and you can't do it the way they're doing it now. And we have less students, and we keep getting more and more employees, and that means any company is going to go bankrupt, and the county is too, we can't afford it. That's it.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
My name's Sonny Brooks, I'm from District 1. Will the forensic audit include knowing how much money the school board received from the insurance company from the embezzlement? Will that question be answered by the forensic audit?
I'm going to answer to that in recommendations to the board. This is public comment. We're not Q&A.
Okay, so I can't ask that
You
question,
can ask all you want, yes.
but you're not going to answer.
Not right at the moment.
Okay.
It's public comment.
Okay.
Sorry. Anybody else, public comment?
Chet Stidham, Dryden, Virginia. So I asked the question about our dumpsters. When will we know something about that? When is that vote going to be pulled? When are y'all going to vote on whether we're going to get some dumpsters or not?
You talking about in just one specific area?
The ones on the upper end of Lake County.
Oh, okay, you talking about a new site?
Yes.
I'll answer it. Reports and recommendations board.
So,
I'll address it.
thank you.
Any other public comment? Here none, we'll move on to reports and recommendations of the board. We'll start.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Carter aboard and wish him well in his new job, and thank Mr. Poe for stepping in to help bridge the gap there.
Yeah, welcome, Clint. Dang, good to see you again. As far as the dumpsters go, we had discussion on that it was last meeting, wasn't it? The property owner, the amount of rent that he's wanting, it doesn't line up with what the other places we rent matches up to. So we're still talking to him about maybe trying to get the price down just a little bit as far as what he charged for rent. But as far as it stands right now, I made a motion, but it didn't carry on vote
I'd also like to welcome Mr. Carter on board and again thank to Mr. Poe for coming in and stepping up for our county. I think it was great that he was able to do that. We thank him for it.
Yes, I forgot to do that to begin the meeting. I apologize. I should have done that already. And congratulations on being our new county administrator. We'll get through this together, me and you both.
Thank you, each of you.
So, school board budget committee. The school board, I think, at their last meeting, I did not attend. I think there's some people here that did. Set 2 people to be on the budget committee to meet with 2 of us. I've asked Mr. Schumacher to take my place this year. And Mr. DD, if you would love to do it again, we will put you right on there. Nobody else wants to.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
We'll get a consensus. I don't think we really need a vote for that, do you? He's just asking for a meeting, right? So, Mr. Schumacher and Mr. Leonard, school board budget committee. The audit people, I have spoken with them, that they're still in the process of gathering data and information. And one in particular department in the county is, for lack of better words, dragging their feet, is what they tell me. And he is not coming here until he gets it all and gets it complete. But when he does, he will be here in public in front of everybody and the paper to do the report for the whole county. And the question that was asked here earlier, I think, yes, will be answered by the auditors. I'm pretty sure. Last but not least, we done a petition about sales tax, personal property, that kind of stuff. Mr. Carter, you remember that petition?
Yes.
So at the next meeting, is there any way we can get all those copies out? Because it's pretty hot and heavy right now at the General Assembly talking about personal property maybe, or the car tax. A lot of talk about it. I don't know who all follows Terry Kidwell on Facebook, but he stood up and said this state was in a $5 billion surplus. The state of Virginia was left to our new governor a $5 billion surplus. In my opinion, there's no sense in anybody paying any more taxes with a state making that kind of money. So if we can get all that together somehow, maybe send it to him and Mr. P and at the same time, I would love to have them here to give it to them and kind of see what the response is and how the General Assembly is handling that particular question, if they're willing to come. I know District 1 signed well over 10 pages worth of petitions, signatures there, so.
I don't think with their schedule, with all this going on, I don't think they'd be able to make it, but they might be able to sit there.
And if they can't, I'd like to get a total and publicly ask them to look at it, review it, and take it before the General Assembly. If it's 1,000 or 2,000, whatever we got total, it's still people in this county wanting change. And with that kind of surplus, I'm like Mr. Kilgore, there's no sense in ignoring it and kicking the can down the road, in my opinion. So, even if they can't come, we can try. And I think that's all I had at the moment. Reports and recommendations of the county attorney. Reports and recommendations of the county administrator, Mr. Carter.
Yes. So first, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the board for the faith that you have in me for putting me in this position. I am honored to serve the board and the citizens of Lee County. I will try to work tirelessly at this. I am thankful for Mr. Poe coming back to assist within this transition. There's a few different items that have come up since the board packets that I've been trying to work through. Mr. Poe and I did meet with Winona Lisco last Monday. Mr. Kidwell asked to update everyone on that. Just essentially, we met to discuss some of the projects going on in the county and get ourselves both up to speed. We met with Jimmy Atkins, who actually had a conference call with a few members of the Army Corps of Engineers about Western Lee Sewer. Essentially, the update with it is they're at essentially 100% completion on the design. So now it is in the real estate phase, which is obtaining the right-of-ways easements for that. There's been a bit of a snag between VDOT and the Army Corps' language and
how that process will go about, so they're working through that. Ryan Turner met with us. He updated us. We have 4 different water projects. There's one currently at Flyer Gap and Fairview, one for the connection with Okanita and Miller and Smith Chapel. There is the St. Charles Monarch Phase 4 and the Stickleyville Long Creek area water projects. And finally, we spoke to Thomas Lawson about the Westernly Housing Project. It is in the study and environmental stage. He provided a document that I'll need the chair to sign, giving me the authorization to look and review those environmental studies. But the housing project, of course, will be dependent upon getting the sewer project completed. But that was essentially the update we received from Winnewisco. As far as an update on some recent repairs that have been made here, Southwest Heating and Air has completed the install of the new water heater for the courthouse, and the new unit down in the 911 room is completed. The courthouse firewall installation, Mr. Duncan, our IT, is here. He did get that completed. We did enter into a 1-year agreement with I&W Solutions. That is an agreement for them to monitor the firewall, but also they assisted in the final stages of the setup. Essentially, Mr. Duncan had got it to a point that he couldn't go any further. He exhausted all of his options locally. The school systems IT department had worked with him, and he was just to a point with some issues with the Commissioner of Revenue's website and their interface with the DMV. So essentially, the original bid for them to do the entire installation of it, my understanding, was just under $5,000. With where he was able to get it to on his own, like I said, contract agreements for $1,200 for 1 year. The minimum fee we could have charged that they were willing to just discuss and help with the installation was $800. So we felt it was sensible to go ahead and do the additional $400 to get that 1-year agreement in place. But that is completed and up and running. There was a request that we received. It is from Black Diamond RC&D, the Resource Conservation and Development Council. In this letter, they state that there was 2 homes in Lee County that was treated this year. The grant paid for $4,798, but owners incurred no cost. It does state too that Lee County contractors are paid $82,000 through this project throughout 6 counties that it serves. Ms. Hughes informed me that this was not included in this year's budget. It's something that had previously been funded. This is for membership dues for this year dated July 25 through June 26. I just want to bring this to the board's attention and verify that this is something that we wish not to fund, so I know how to address this invoice. I'd sent out an email to you each today about a resolution in support of VMI, Virginia Military Institute. I don't know if each of you had a chance to look at it. There are 2 different House bills. It's House Bill 1374 and 1377 that is looking at some changes to the way the board and governance of the Virginia Military Institute. So VMI is asking for localities to sign these resolutions in support of essentially leaving it the way it has been. So that is just something that I have that if you want to discuss further or look into signing, we have received notice from them that several of the local other counties throughout the state, Amherst, Augusta, Buchanan, Floyd, Rockbridge, Roanoke, Russell, and Tazewell counties have all already signed this resolution.
What all counties did you say, I'm sorry, what all counties did you say had signed it already?
The latest email stated that Amherst, Augusta, Buchanan, Floyd, Rockbridge, Roanoke, Russell, and Tazewell counties have all signed these resolutions. I received a letter from Mr. Ken Roddenberry with the Jonesville Institute Cultural Society. He wanted a meeting within the next 7 to 10 days. I went ahead and called him and explained that it would take longer than that for me to get up to speed with where Mr. Wright had things with the Jonesville Institute building and to meet with the board and the correct agencies. I did have a meeting scheduled with the Department of Environmental Quality that was canceled due to the snow the first week of February. They have not rescheduled yet. He just wanted me to relay to the board that the Institute Society would like a seat at the table and helping work with you to preserve the structure just wanted me to relay that message to the board.
How are they moving along on anything with that?
My understanding is Mr. Wright had spoken with Winter Wisco, and Mr. Thomas Lawson had actually emailed Mr. Powell and myself this morning with some questions about environmental studies. There is a potential grant that's available, and Mr. Wright was trying to pursue that. As I said, I'm trying to catch up to what was going on and what is in place, but my understanding is there's a potential grant that we could receive.
Is
So-
the Historical Society working on that, or is that up to us?
That's something that I believe Mr. Wright had initiated. The Historical Society, the Institute Society, just, the way Mr. Roddenberry explained it was he did not want them to have to react to what we chose to do, but to be able to work with us. And I told him I'd relay that message. Officer Woodard had contacted me about a committee that's to address the county sick leave sharing policy. This committee was actually put in place in the fall, late fall of 2021. We had a employee at the time who was dealing with issues with their spouse and had exhausted their leave. My understanding of the sick leave policy, if I needed someone to donate time for me to take care of myself, I could have time donated, but if it's for my spouse or children, the way our policy currently stands, that would not be allowed. The purpose of this committee was to essentially find a ground in which they felt to where they can make a recommendation to the board on how to change this policy. What happened is Sharon Lawson was placed on that committee in January of 22 is when she fell ill and passed away unexpectedly. The committee's not met since. Officer Woodard stated that we have an employee in a similar situation now, so he would like to get this committee started back up and be able to bring something to you as far as a recommendation on this policy. At the time, Gary Collins served on that board, as well as Kathy Wilder, and Howdy, as well as Sharon. We felt, talking with him and Mr. Poe, we felt that obviously Jenny Hughes is our accountant and HR who need to be placed in Sharon's place, and we discussed the possibility of adding a fifth member, just in case they could come to a consensus agreement. We had looked at potentially adding Robin Blakemore from the Commissioner of Revenue's office, just to add another constitutional office to that committee. I just wanted to get the board's opinion on if that was something they want to move forward with, or how they wanted to address that.
Both those individuals agreed to sit on the committee?
Yes.
Make a motion, put both those on the committee and get the committee rolling again.
Second.
Motion's been made with a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And finally, I do have a personnel matter that I'd like to discuss in closed session.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clint, before I move on, the data center, I know it came up at the last meeting, I was out of town, but on the phone, I didn't get the whole gist. Did I miss anything on the data center at the last meeting? We have to talk about.
As far, if you don't care if I speak to
Sure,
this,
I
the
can.
planning commission that I've worked with in my role as zoning administrator, the planning commission brought to the board several months ago now the public hearing to allow data centers to add them to the M1 and M2 zoning districts as a special use is how it was passed. So for anything to be approved, any permits to be issued, that will have to be applied for and come before the planning commission and the board of supervisors. There was talk, and I believe this was referenced in the meeting, of our future land use map. So tomorrow night, the planning commission will meet. They have a hearing to adopt the updated comprehensive plan. Part of the comprehensive plan is a future land use map. The future land use map does not rezone any property. It is a recommendation as far as future use. There was discussion at one of our hearings where we've been working on this for the past year about potentially adding additional M1 and M2 to the map. I know Mr. Brooks had spoke to that at a public hearing. Ultimately, the planning commission did not want to extend the M1 and M2 districts. So in the future land use map, the only difference that'll be seen tomorrow night will be that there is a proposed village commercial that has been proposed for several years but never adopted that runs along the corridors of the 4 lanes. So as far as what the planning commission is taking the public hearing tomorrow, there are no additional M1 or M2 zones. There are no plans or anything that's been applied for at this point. At this point, there is no data center coming.
That's what
Not in talks or discussion with anyone, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
so to answer the question that was asked tonight, are we voting on it? I shook my head, no, I hope I'm still right. I thought that was the case.
So the planning commission will have their hearing tomorrow for the comprehensive plan. That will come to the board of supervisors next month with their recommendation. But again, there's nothing within that comprehensive plan that's going to change anything other than the provisions we added a few months ago of the special use permit.
Okay, thank you.
Could I say something? You may have misunderstood me when I said that a minute ago about voting on it.
Sure, I brought it back up. Just real quick.
I just want you all to vote to let the public vote on whether we wanted one or not, to put it on the ballot, to let the county vote on it, whether we allowed one or not.
Okay. Yeah, again, I don't think nobody up here has talked to anybody who wants to put a data center in Lee County that I know of. But I know I haven't. So that's why I said it like this.
Aren't we, just like I talked to Mr. Carter there a while ago, aren't we cutting off our nose to spite our face if we don't add some more M1s? We always talking about, we need more industry in Lee County, we need more industry in Lee County. But if you don't have an M1, you can't get industry. Think about it.
Not to cut off Mr. Brooks, but that will be brought to public hearing tomorrow night with the planning commission and to this board. And that is
I
something
mean,
that
it just makes common sense.
All right, moving on to approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion for the approval of the minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Up next is payroll. We have a motion to,
Pay the bills, I make that.
motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of disbursements. I'm guessing that's all the same. Delegations, Isaiah House 117.
Hello, thank you all for having me tonight. I'm Brittany Martin, and I am the extension coordinator for the Wise Scott Lee and the City of Norton Isaiah 117 house. I know some of you have already seen this, and so I appreciate you all letting me come and present to those who have not seen it. So what he's going to do is put up a little bit of a video that shows you kind of a glimpse into what one of our houses is going to look like.
My computer restarted.
Do we need to give the lights?
video just kind of gives you a glimpse into how this house is going to change, how foster care begins for the kids in Lee County. So right now, on removal day, so that's when a child is removed from the home by DSS for whatever reason there may be. Right now, they go to the DSS office. And so think of walking into a DMV office. It's, state issue furniture, fluorescent lighting, nothing warm and inviting about it. And I've been a teacher in Wise County for 19 years, and I used to think removal day was a great day for these kids. Because selfishly, I thought, ooh, they're going to be at school tomorrow, they're going to be clean, they're going to have everything they're going to need, they're going to be, have rested and be fed. So I selfishly thought it was a great day, and not knowing how much trauma comes into removal day. These children are being removed from all the things that they know, their pets, their home, their toys, and we might not approve of that mama, but that's the only mama they've known, and they've been ripped from her, and they've been taken to the DSS office. And like I said, it's conference rooms and cubicles. Nothing says, hey, it's going to be okay, kid. So what the Isaiah 117 house is going to do is we want that to be the first stop for these kids. We want it to be the first stop for the DSS workers. So these children are going to be brought to the Isaiah 117 house. They're going to be greeted at the door with, hello, welcome to the Isaiah 117 house. They're going to come into an actual house, not a cubicle, not a conference room. They're going to smell fresh baked cookies. And we're going to kind of let them lead the day. If they want to play basketball, we're going to go play basketball. If they want to watch a movie, that's what we're going to do. If they want to play Play-Doh, we're going to do that. As you all know, most of these kids are going to come to us with inadequate clothing. They're going to need a bath. They're probably going to need a lice treatment maybe. And we're going to do all those things for them. And instead of getting a bath in a drug testing sink, they're going to get a bath in a bathtub. If it's a little toddler, they're going to get an Elmo bath with all the bubbles and toys, and they're going to get wrapped in a warm blanket out of the dryer. If it's a teenage boy who's mad at the world because he's just witnessed some really traumatic things, he's going to have all the things that makes him feel like a young man. He's going to have the Axe body spray, he's going to have new pajamas or a new outfit, and he's going to have a little bit of self-dignity when he walks out of that bathroom if somebody sees him. So we like to lavishly love on our kids. These kids are most likely, if they have any possessions, are going to bring them in a black trash bag. And we want them to know that they're more than a black trash bag and that we see them. So each child is going to get either a duffel bag or a suitcase, depending on their age. And we call it lavishly loving them. They're going to get to go to the giving room, as you saw in the video, and they're going to get a bag with all the things that they're going to need for the next couple of days. They're going to get pajamas, socks, toys, plushies, blankets, clothes, school supplies, whatever it is that they're going to need. And that just eases that trauma too of having all the things that they need to be a human being. If they're going to have new clothes that fit, clean clothes. The second part of our mission is we like to lighten the load of our caseworkers. Our caseworkers are doing the absolute very best that they can. It was never the state's job to take this on and have to be trying to find a child a placement while also entertaining a 2-year-old in a cubicle. So we want to help them with that. They're going to have an office in the house that's going to be completely stocked with all the things they need. Post-its, paper clips, printers, whatever it is that they need. They're going to have their own space. And that space is also going to be useful to them because they've not only been removing the child, but they've seen some pretty traumatic things, and it's been traumatic for them also. So if they need to go in the bathroom and cry for a minute, they can do that. If they need to step on the back porch because they've missed their kid's soccer game, they can do that because the volunteers are going to be playing with the child while the social worker's doing their job. We like to lavishly love on our social workers too. So every 17th of the month, we take them a treat from us that just says, hey, we see you, we're behind you, we support you. They're going to have all kinds of support from us that they're not already getting. So that's our hope, that this makes it easier on our social services also. Our third part of our mission is easing the transition for these foster families. As you can imagine, it's hard enough to take in a child, but imagine taking in a child that needs a bath immediately, has no clothes, needs diapers, needs formula. That's a huge way to have to, be able to say no because you can't do all those things. But if they've been to an Isaiah 117 house, it's gonna be easier for these families to say yes, because they're gonna be able to get diapers. They may have never had a newborn, so we've got them a crib if they need it, a car seat. And they're not gonna have to run to Walmart at 10 o'clock at night and gather the things that they need for these kids to go to school the next day, because they've been to an Isaiah 117 house, and they're gonna have all the things packed that they're gonna need. So our hope is that it will make us gain some foster families also, because it's gonna ease the transition. A part of the house that's really cool is it's structurally connected to the house, but it can be completely separate, is a visitation space for families that are trying to get their children back. So right now, if you're trying to get your child back and you have supervised visitations at DSS, again, you're in a cubicle. It's hard to be mom or dad in a cubicle when there's nothing there. So we have, you kind of think of it as an efficiency apartment. It has like a small living room, small like kitchen, a dining area, and a bathroom. And parents can conduct supervised visits there, and it just lets them be a little bit more of a home environment. So that might inspire them to get, things in order for them to get their child back. So that's a great part of the house that, is not as big as what we advertise, but it's very important. Our organization's been around for a little while. Our house will be around the 63rd house in the nation, so it's growing, it's working, it's reducing trauma, it's helping these kids, it's making a difference. Our organization is completely debt-free. We never finance a house. We never do, it's completely debt-free. And we always have the first year's budget in the bank before we open, because we always want to be a year ahead of it, so we know that we can sustain, because we never want to open doors without knowing that we can sustain. So one of the things that we're doing is applying for the OAA grant. And we need one of the localities to be a physical agent. So I would ask that if you all consider being the physical agent for the OAA grant that we're applying for, just to help us get the doors open, get a place for these kids, and see what a difference it's going to make in the area. Does anybody have any questions?
I know you was there in Wisco meeting. Since then, have you found a location for this?
We haven't nailed down a location. We've
Right.
got some things in the works, but yeah, that's hopefully coming soon.
Is it, can I ask?
There's
Got a possibility where it might?
there's several locations, so I mean, yeah, there's some things that we're looking at. Nothing, like I said, is nailed down in stone. So yeah, we're just kind of letting God tell us where He wants us and kind of go from there. Yeah. But it's definitely going to benefit the kids of Lee County, because you all have, right now in the three counties in the city of Norton, there's 250 kids in foster care. And Lee County is a big part of that. So, yeah. Does anybody else have any questions?
What we gotta get to Lee County?
What do you got to do to get to Lee County? If you've got any land that would be a possibility, just, contact me and we can, I don't make that decision. That goes through the resource center of, them coming to look at the land and seeing if it's suitable and things like that. So, and the land only has to be a fourth of an acre to a half of an acre. I mean, it could be, I think the cap is an acre.
So is this gonna be from the ground up stick-built home?
Well, that depends. If we get a land donation and there's not a house on it that we can redo, then yes. But sometimes there's been localities that have had a house donated and it's redone and to suit what we need. Because we have to have certain things like an older kid's bathroom, a younger kid's bathroom, and things like that.
How many do you have in operation right now?
There is 35 operating right now, and then there's a lot in the building process. Russell County, Virginia is getting ready to open their doors. Washington County, Virginia is getting ready to open their doors. Lynchburg is the only open home we have in Virginia, and Rockingham County is very, very close to finishing. Any more questions?
It says 100,000 in capital funding to support construction and infrastructure needs. That's what you're asking of us.
Well, and we're just applying for that OAA grant, so it'll be a cooperative grant. So we just need someone to be the physical agent to pass the money through.
Sure.
Yeah. And that, like I said, we never open the doors without it being fully funded in the first year's budget in the bank. So we're never financing anything or, so it's, it has to be funded before we can open the doors.
I'm trying to figure out a way to get you here. Before I ask anything else.
But, and this is the great thing, I've been working really closely with all the DSS offices, and they're excited because they know what a difference it's gonna make. They're already seeing it, like today we took them treats, and just their excitement of that somebody seeing them has made a big difference already. So I think you all will see, hopefully a major difference in the foster care system and the DSS. Thank you all.
So you're looking for property.
Yeah.
And the county property, any kind of property?
Anything that's free. Yeah.
How about trusses for this house?
Yeah, sure. And then that's one thing too, that once we get, in the process, we will be looking for a general contractor, we'll be looking for, people to donate windows, all the things, so yeah. Trusses, yeah.
My asking, let me say this, if it's built in Lee County, I can get the trusses free.
Oh, okay.
I can haul them for free.
Okay.
So I would like to see this happen in Lee County if you can.
Okay, well, like I said, just, if you all have got anything, just reach out to me. I think it will, wherever God wants it, it's going to be amazing wherever it is. So, yeah. And I appreciate you all letting me present and consider being the physical agent and things.
Do we need to vote on that physical agent part?
You may want to discuss that with your administrator before
Yes.
you take that vote alone. The county already serves as fiscal agent for the Workforce Development Board, which encompasses 7 counties in Southwest Virginia. And nothing against this, but that has some ramifications on your annual audit. We don't have adequate staff to review all of the data that's generated from workforce development itself. And so we may get write-ups in the audit from time to time. There's no liability to the county because they actually handle their own funds. But we're serving just as a fiscal agent in name to some extent.
And I'll fill out all the, sorry to interrupt, but I'll fill out all the grant application. You all won't have to do any of that. It's just basically you all are funded the money and it passes, yeah.
Right, but there is some audit issues that come up from serving as a fiscal agent. And I don't know if that's something that you have adequate staff to really take that on. Because current staff now in the accounting department still does payroll for DSS. There's other issues there. I'm just saying you may want to discuss that a little bit more before taking that responsibility. Nothing to do with the grant application if you want to approve that. And if I understand, this is for a cooperative agreement for the state pot of funds that are available to you.
Yes, sir.
And I may have missed, I was looking for something else, but may have missed if you said it. Did you state how many children you hope to be able to?
Well, right now there's 250 kids in foster care in the 3 counties and the city of Norton. So, to say how many definite, I don't know, but we hope to serve every kid because we're working closely with DSS and they're excited to have it. So every child that comes into foster care should come through the Isaiah 117 house.
Okay.
And they can be there anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 days. And at that 3 days, we don't kick them out. It's just we start working with DSS a little bit more closely to see, have we looked at kinship and things like that to find a placement. But think of a child being in a house for 3 days versus a conference room, sleeping on a cot versus in a bed and in an actual house. So it makes a huge difference.
How is the recruitment going for foster parents?
Well, I can't speak on that right now because we're not open yet, so I can't say it's making it better because we're not able to serve those foster families yet. But we're already working on building our giving room that we're going to serve out of a storage unit. So, if a foster family needs a crib and we have one, we can help them get that and, give it to them. So hopefully with our 6 months of expansion started in September and it ends in March with our luncheon and dinner. So we raise awareness for 6 months and then we kind of look at where we are and then decide, if we start building and things like that. So hopefully I can report back on that soon about how it's helping the foster family situation. So thank you all so much.
Last but not least, could the Linda Wisco board be the physical agent?
I think it has to be an actual county board. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So,
thank you.
thank you.
Southwest Virginia Legal Aid Society Incorporated.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the board for allowing me to be here, and thank you to Clint, who's, I didn't know this was your first meeting, so welcome aboard. And he's been great to deal with so far. I didn't know him, had never met him, and so I was, he's very responsive to me. This is I'm here for, we're reapplying for our father partnership grant, Amendment Authority. Y'all have approved this for the last couple of years, and y'all give a little donation from your direct distribution fund of $2,500. We're just asking for that again. I can tell you now, Project Pathfinder served over 1,000 clients over the last 2 years. We'd only planned on serving 150 each year, and it's already eclipsed that. And basically what this project does again is it helps people with their civil legal needs who are affected by addiction. We have a lot of course that in Wisely in Scott County and the city of Norton. And legal aid has been, we represent 17 counties in all of Southwest Virginia. So, and we represent people here in Lee County just about every week in this courtroom right here. And the circuit court too, and the general district court right here. So we ask that you support it again, and if you have any questions, I can answer those.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
And I do support the Isaiah House too.
If you got property, it helps. I guess we need action on this.
Yeah, I'll make that motion to support it again.
Motion been made, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is finance supplemental appropriation.
I do want to make a comment that we found a typo in your board packets. For that, it says that the following supplemental reappropriations. These are just supplemental appropriations, not
She fixed it,
reappropriations.
she changed mine.
Okay.
Do we have a motion on any supplemental appropriations or any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the supplemental appropriation.
Motion been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is old business, aid to localities resolution.
Mr. Chairman, it's my understanding that Ms. Thomas, when going back through the minutes, was unable to find where a vote was taken, an actual action taken on this resolution. We just need to have that formalized and have that re-signed and dated for tonight's meeting.
I'll make that motion to sign that.
Motion been made, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is relocation of Gibson Station Convenience Center, and he could not make it tonight. I'm gonna ask that we put that on next month's meeting, please. Moving on, new business, board appointments, Appalachian Juvenile Commission. Would be, I'll ask to table that one, to table.
Second.
Motion been made with second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Bristol Transportation District Regional Improvement Commission.
Nominate Clint Carter.
Second.
Motion been made with second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Building Code of Appeals.
Make a motion to table.
Motion been made to table, I'll second it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 9th District Development Finance.
Motion for Clint Carter.
Second.
Motion been made with a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Planning Commission.
Motion to table.
Motion been made, we have a second.
Second.
Second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Regional Industrial Facilities Authority.
For Clint Carter.
Second.
Motion been made with a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Southwest Regional Recreation Authority.
Mr. Chairman, I do believe this board is a tourism-related board, if I'm not mistaken. I was wondering if this might be one the board would consider putting Ms. Litton on. If not, I'm
The
willing-
Regional Recreation Authority.
I'm willing to serve if not.
She's wanting to.
I've not spoken to her about that, but it is a tourism-related board, is my understanding.
Motion to table.
You approve her.
I'll make a motion for Clint until she decides she wants it.
Well, she can if you go with
For table.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion table.
Second.
Motion been made with a second to table. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Southwest Virginia Regional Jail Authority. Regional Industrial Jail Authority.
I'll make that motion, Clint Carter.
Second.
Motion been made with a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Solid Waste Collection and Hauling Bids.
Mr. Chairman, we did receive a bid, but I'll ask to take this matter to closed session to discuss further.
Okay.
Make a motion to take it into closed session.
Motion's been made to move to closed session with a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. General Architectural Engineering Service Qualifications.
Again, Mr. Chairman, we did receive one set of qualifications. If the board wants to, I would be asked to take this to closed session.
Okay, motion to take it into closed session.
Motion to closed session, do we have a second? Second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Annual Fair Housing Activity 2026.
So Lena Wisco reached out, and in accordance with the Community Development Block Grant funds, we need to essentially have an activity discussing fair housing. Had to be placed on the agenda and just needed to discuss these topics. So just wanted to state that, Lee County does endorse a commitment to fair housing practices within that endeavor to ensure equal opportunity to all persons residing in Lee County to live in decent housing. Lee County does prohibit discrimination in the sale, purchase, rental, or financing of housing against any person based on race, color, religion, national origin, sex, age, familiar status, disability, veteran status, gender identity, sexual orientation, or source of funds. That I am, as the Lee County Administrator, the designated authority for investigating all complaints of fair housing discrimination. That we must be vigilant in keeping ourselves aware of the provisions of the fair housing within Lee County. And just open this to any discussion if anyone has any questions or comments concerning this topic.
I did get asked about, this is gonna be a little touchy subject, I guess, but asked about rental houses being upkept. Is there code that they have to be kept to a certain standard?
The state building code has 3 different parts. The county has adopted in the past to enforce the third part of the Uniform Statewide Building Code, which is the maintenance code. Essentially, we've always operated that on a complaint basis. There is a process for tenants or other property owners to come to the building official's office
Right.
and request an inspection of the property. It is a relatively small code book, probably 75 pages. There's not a lot of meat to it, but essentially, it's a safe standard for housing to make sure your electrical, plumbing, mechanical systems are all working properly, the house is sealed to the elements, and that things are just essentially being maintenance and kept up.
So the complaints coming about that particular goes to the building inspector, right?
But they'll need to come to the building inspector's office, and essentially, we need the form filled out to give us legal right to go on the property. As far as building inspections, once a permit is issued, that is our legal right to go on the property and inspect. So in the case of the maintenance code, we need a formal complaint. In the case of a tenant, the Constitution affords the tenant the right to privacy, not the landlord. So as long as the tenant files the complaint and gives us permission to enter the property, we are allowed to go in and inspect.
Can I ask a question to make sure it's still the same? If a tenant moves out, then they can't file a complaint on it after they've moved out, correct?
Correct.
They have to be a current tenant to file a complaint.
Yes.
I can't say I'm out here, I'm telling on you. Okay. Last but not least, these board appointments that keeps getting tabled every month, can we put them on our Facebook page and say we're looking for Appalachian Juvenile Commission in this district? Or just to see if anybody's interested?
Just to try to generate.
Yeah. Get some involvement. If the public, I mean, they don't come to the meetings, obviously. Thank you all for coming. But there's a lot of people here that has no idea that this stuff even exists. And just to get involved.
I believe it's something we could look at doing.
Some counties actually put out a notice inviting people to submit qualifications to serve on boards, if they have certain boards they're interested in.
Right. Okay, we have a motion to go in closed session.
Second. Make a motion to go into closed session for employment personnel 2.2-3711A1 and investing of public funds 2.2-3711A6.
Motion been made with a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We're now in closed session with a 5-minute break.